Good morning. Good morning. I'm Charles Coachman, and we are walking our way through the Bible, reading our way through Proverbs, and digging into the book of Luke. I've got my little buddy Tux here, and we are just enjoying a quick little pep talk early in the morning. He's telling me how needed I am because he needs to be scratched and doing his purring. But hope everyone had a great day yesterday. Hope everyone is looking forward to today. Looking forward to today because we're not sure what it holds. We have our own plans. We have the things that we want to do and the things that we want to accomplish and the work that must be done. But we don't know where that fits into God's plans and what it'll hold for us. Well, let's take a quick look and do our early morning shout outs. Let's see what we got. Happy birthday to 3 old friends. These are people that I've known for years. Dana Adams. I first met Dana years ago at Park Junior High School in Antioch. We were both freshmen, and Dana was one of the young girls that I enjoyed getting to know. Just a wonderful lady, and married a old friend of mine, a guy that I played baseball with and just truly enjoyed. And unfortunately, Gary passed away several years back, but Dana has carried on. So Dana, wishing you a very, very happy birthday. Now, Sandy Hurst Kinder has played a part in most of my life. I met her when we were both in elementary school. She lived in Antioch. I lived in West Pittsburgh in Shore Acres. But I met her, and then we did end up going to school together at Park Junior High School. And we never went to high school together, but we met when I moved to Boulder Creek. And she moved up there a short while later. And we have been friends most all of our lives. And we are still friends. Sandy has always been a great friend to me. And unfortunately, Sandy and her husband Mark were one of the many that lost their homes in the fires in the Santa Cruz Mountains this year. And they have done very well for themselves, and they are just beginning their rebuild, just starting to get everything in place to get that done. So Sandy Hurst Kinder, happy birthday to you. And then Brian Babcock. Brian and I met probably 10 years ago. And Brian was a realtor here in San Jose and has now moved to Texas and selling insurance. So Brian, wishing you all the best. Wishing you all the best on this your day, Tuesday, February 9th. Happy birthday to all 3 of you. You were all 3 terrifically good friends of mine, and I wish you all the best, especially on your birthdays. And if it's your birthday out there, happy birthday to you. Wishing that you will have an awesome, awesome day, and especially you 3. Have a great day. Let's take a quick look up here. Scott Ricard, good morning, Charles and Tux. My little buddy has learned a lesson the other night. I have spent the better part of 4 days in bed trying to recover from this bit of back pain, but Tux went outside when Darlene was out feeding or bringing in the food from the outdoor cats. We got to bring it in each night because we'll get skunks, we'll get raccoons, we'll get other critters showing up. So we take it in each night. So there's nothing there for the animals to fight about. And Tux went outside and Darlene didn't notice it. But a few minutes later, there was some pounding at the door. And our little guy that every once in a while makes a quick venture outside, but hurries back in, was stuck outside. But luckily our daughter was here and she got him back in. And I try and keep an eye on Tux all the time because I don't want him out there and don't want him to have to learn what the outdoor life is all about. And these cats that we have, we've been able to take our oldest one, Smokey, to the vets to get checked out. And he has got feline HIV. And the last thing that I want to do is let Tux or Callie get outside and get involved with them and end up with that, because it's not good for any of them. And go outside and watch Smokey and Tebow outside, both coughing in the morning, which will eventually finish them from that disease. So trying to keep Tux and Callie safe if we can do that. But they're animals, and they were both born outside and spent time outside. Callie is very resistant. She'll go to the door and she'll look, but she says, I want nothing to do with that. But Tux will sit there and say, hey, I want to be out there. Those are my people. So Kathy Sherritt's Carbajal, good morning. Good morning to you, and good morning to everyone. And that little face just brings a smile to mine each time I see it. I just love that. Just love the innocent look and a hairdo that I certainly had this morning. Gloria Brown, good morning to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. And Scott, good morning. And then our woman of wow, Kellen Ann. If you haven't had a chance to meet Kellen Ann, she is a terrific lady and has at least 2 shows, maybe 3 that she does. And she is awesome. And she has a card business and gift business that is also just incredible. And I know that she's working on at least 1 book, Becoming a Woman of Wow, Becoming a Person of Wow. And Kellen Ann, thank you for joining us. And Gloria Brown, good morning to Scott. So good morning to all of you. We are going to go into, let's take a quick look here. We are going to go into, happy birthday, you guys. We are going to go into Proverbs chapter 9 and Luke 15:11 through 32. That's the story of the prodigal son. And then, as always, put on the whole armor of God. Put on the whole armor of God. Once my little alarm went off, it is time. It is time. So I'm going to dig right in. Again, it is Tuesday, February 9th. It's about 6 or 7 degrees warmer than it was yesterday at this time. It was actually about 43 degrees at 9 o'clock yesterday. So we got ourselves a heat wave. Wisdom's invitation. Wisdom's invitation. Wisdom has built her house. She has hewn out her 7 pillars. She has prepared her food. She has mixed her wine. She has also set her table. She has sent out her maidens, she calls, from the tops of the heights of the city. Whoever is naive, let him turn in here. To him who lacks understanding, she says, come, eat of my food and drink of the wine I have mixed. Forsake your folly and live, and proceed in the way of understanding. He who corrects a scoffer gets dishonor for himself, and he who reproves a wicked man gets insults for himself. Do not reprove a scoffer, or he will hate you. Reprove a wise man, and he will love you. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be still wiser. Teach a righteous man, and he will increase in his learning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. For by me your ways will be multiplied, and years of life will be added to you. If you are wise for yourself, and if you scoff, you alone will bear it. The woman of folly is boisterous. She is naive and knows nothing. She sits at the doorway of her house, on a seat by the high places of the city, calling to those who pass by, who are making their path straight. Whoever is naive, let him turn in here. And to him who lacks understanding, she says, stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. But he does not know that the dead are there, that her guests are in the depths of Sheol. Wisdom has built her house. Forsake your folly and live, and proceed in the way of understanding. Do not reprove a scoffer, or he will hate you. Reprove a wise man, and he will love you. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will still be wiser. Teach a righteous man, and he will increase his learning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Setting our foundation. Setting our foundation to live a better life. Setting our foundation for our children. Setting our foundation for our grandchildren. For ourselves if we need it. Setting a foundation so that we can live a better life. Setting the foundation so that we can be the people that God meant us to be. Each and every day. Hey, we mess up. We go through things. We have to be reproved. We have to be corrected, would probably be the term that we would use. We want to correct ourselves. If someone else has to correct us, those that are married get corrected once in a while. As I got to hear all Sunday, it was mansplaining or womansplaining. But it's just trying to make sure that we understand, and we're not trying to tear each other down, but we are building each other up. And that's the way it has to be meant and be understood. Or else we're both fools. Turning to Luke 15, 11 through 32, the prodigal son. And he said, a man has two sons. The younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the share of the estate that falls to me. So he divided his wealth between them. And not many days later, the younger son gathered everything together and went on a journey into a distant country. And there he squandered his estate with his loose living. Now, when he had spent everything, a severe famine occurred in that country, and he began to be impoverished. So he went and hired himself out to be one of the citizens of that country, and he sent him into his fields to feed the swine. So he went and hired himself out to one of the citizens of that country, and he sent him into the fields to feed swine. And he would have gladly filled his stomach with the pods of the swine were eating, and no one was giving anything to him. But when he came to his senses, he said, "How many of my father's hired men have more than enough bread, but I am dying here with my hunger. I will get up and go to my father and will say to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and in your sight. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me as one of your hired men.' So he got up and came to his father, but while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and felt compassion for him and ran and embraced him and kissed him. And the son said to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and in your sight. I am no longer worthy to be called your son.' But the father said to his slaves, 'Quickly bring out the best robe, put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and sandals on his feet. And bring the fatted calf, kill it, and let us eat and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead, and he came to life again. He was lost, and he has been found.' And they began to celebrate. Now his older son was in the field, and when he came and approached the house, he heard music and dancing. And he summoned one of the servants and began inquiring what these things could be. And he said to him, 'Your brother has come, and your father has killed the fattened calf, because he has received him back safe and sound.' But he became angry and was not willing to go in, and his father came out and began pleading with him. But he answered and said to his father, 'Look, for many years I have been serving you, and I have never neglected a command of yours, and yet you have never given me a young goat so that I might celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours came, who has devoured your wealth with prostitutes, you killed the fattened calf for him.' And he said to him, 'Son, you have always been with me, and all that is mine is yours. But we had to celebrate and rejoice, for this brother of yours was dead and has begun to live, and was lost and has been found.'" Has been lost and has been found. How many of us have been through a similar situation where we have lost something or someone and been rejoiced when they returned? What father or what mother wouldn't be rejoiced that a child who had left their home and went out on his own and came back, it was in bad shape? How many wouldn't rejoice with him? Now, they may not be as wealthy as this man, but they would love their son. You would love your brother and sister as much as you could. Welcoming them home. Now, I must admit, there's times when I was resentful of my own little brother when he would take off and he would get himself in huge trouble. Huge. And my mother would welcome him back. And I would be upset, to say the least. But I knew that he needed to be welcomed back home. I knew that he had suffered enough for what he had gone through. But my immediate reaction was not a good one. But this is Jesus telling us, for each person that's found, for each person that's returned, that turns to him and says, "Lord, I need you. I want you to be a part of my life. Please forgive me for all my sins." That's what this story is all about. for each one, like the lamb that has went away. And the shepherd goes out and finds it and brings it back home. It's the father who let his son go, because that's what you do when you grow up. It's time to go. But unfortunately, well, most of us don't have a parent that would give you your inheritance up front, but this father did. This son is going to go out and he's going to make his way in the world, but unfortunately he blew everything. But when he came back, when he returned home, and he was apologetic and just wanted forgiveness, I'll work like one of your hired men. Who wouldn't forgive that son? But this father was rejoicing already. He knew that he needed his son with him. He was welcoming back, just like Jesus welcomes each person who is lost and then comes to find him. One of the best stories and most talked about stories of the Bible is the prodigal son, because there are so many of us, so many people throughout the world that do the same thing. And we got to welcome those people back into the fold. We have to welcome them back just like Jesus would. And that's what Jesus is trying to put out there. This son who walked away, this son who turned away, has now returned, and I am grateful. And I will forgive his sins, just like I've forgiven every sin that each of us has had. Brocknell, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And good morning. I hope that each of you have an awesome day. An awesome, awesome day. Thank you for being here. If you'd like to share this out, we would love you to do that. Enjoy your day. If you'd join us tomorrow, we'll be happy for that. We'll be grateful for that. But just go out and make the best of today. And if you have a chance to help another that may be hurting like this prodigal son, maybe he doesn't have anyone to return to, or she, and just needs a little forgiveness. Help that person. Help whoever you can. If you're the hurting one, then we pray for you. Wishing everyone a great day. Go out and enjoy it. Have an awesome day. Cheers. God bless. Good day.